Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
The GMC tournament has always been one of the best in the state, regardless of the sport. With a number of teams, it's not too far-flung, and it always seems to play out in rapid-fire fashion. It's survival of the fittest when the games come one after the other. Today, in the first GMC baseball tournament to bear the name of the late, great Jim Muldowney, not a single top 4 seed is still in the event. Woodbridge, South Plainfield, St. Thomas Aquinas, and East Brunswick all gone. And in Game 1, the alma mater and longtime coaching home of Muldowney, Edison, is looking to get back to the finals for the first time since 1991 when he was coach. In their way, a red-hot Middlesex team that has won 9 in a row and tuned up for their county playoff run with a win over the then number 7 team in the state, Delmarton. Not too shabby. The Blue Jays are looking very much like the team that won the Group 1 title back in 2021, the rebound year from COVID, under first-year head coach Coach Ionetti this year, who was on that staff. But there's another connection, too. Today's starter, Chris Kozak, his brother Aiden, was a sophomore on that team. But hey, championships in 1991 or 2021 don't matter a lick today. It's the 9 each side who will take the field for 10th seed Middlesex and 11th seed Edison in the opening game of a Jim Muldowney GMC Championship Tournament doubleheader on a Saturday afternoon on Central Jersey Sports Radio. And it's coming up next.
This is high school baseball on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Swung on and lined to center field, making chase, and it gets past Kehoe. One man scores, 2 score. They're going to send the third one home. Kozak at third. 3 runs come in to score. A bases-clearing triple for Chris Kozak, who went first pitch swinging, and now it's a 9-0 lead.
Lined into left center field. That one's going to be a base hit. In the gap, and it's going to go all the way back to the wall. Trotting in is Dominicenti, and pulling in with a stand-up double, Connor Murphy on second. Now the pitch to the plate, swung on and hit in the air to deep center. Nugent going back on his horse at the wall, looking up, and it's gone! Bobby Christensen, a 2-run home run, and St. Joe's has a 5-0 lead in the top of the second. First pitch swung on and hit high in the air, deep to left field, sending the left fielder back towards the wall. It's gone! A home run! A grand slam home run for Sebi Saraceno to left field. The Chargers have blown it open.
Now, GMC Tournament Baseball on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Live from Ray Zipperly Field at East Brunswick Magnet School in East Brunswick, New Jersey, it's Greater Middlesex Conference Baseball on Central Jersey Sports Radio. This afternoon of the first game of our doubleheader, the 10th-seeded Middlesex Blue Jays take on the 11th-seeded Edison Eagles in the semifinal round of the Jim Muldowney GMC Championship Tournament. High school baseball on Central Jersey Sports Radio, brought to you in part by Baseball Warehouse, the New Jersey State Federation of Umpires. Jan Promotions, official outfitter of Central Jersey Sports Radio. Bellamy and Son Paving, Higgins Speed Lab, where athletes train to get faster. Ball Stars, Takeover Baseball, and by Sportsplex in Metuchen, your local indoor sports facility for an immersive sporting experience. Starting pitchers for today's first semifinal. For Middlesex, Chris Kozak, who's 3-3, an ERA of 0.89, and for Edison, Connor Murphy, 4-2, an ERA of 1.19. Hi, everybody. Mike Pavlichko along with a dried-off Alec Crouthamel after an interesting trip over to North Plainfield last week to see, just a few days ago, to see Middlesex win their semifinal game, knocking off the number 2 seed South Plainfield. This is the first tournament in quite some time, since before COVID at least, that none of the top 4 seeds are in the semifinals, but you saw them beat South Plainfield back on Thursday. This is a scrappy, impressive Middlesex squad that is, Alec, won 9 in a row. Hottest team in the GMC right now.
Yeah, they're playing very well right now as a team, 1 through 9, the whole lineup. It seemed like they were well on their way to running away with a victory over South Plainfield on Thursday. They scored a run in the first inning, then scored 4 in the second inning, even left the bases loaded, but still scored those 4 runs. But they had to grind it out a little bit. South Plainfield scored 3 runs in the 4th inning. They added another one in the bottom of the 7th inning, tried to have a rally going, but Dominic Long, complete game, shut the door at a really nice game, and now Chris Kozak, the other top pitcher for the Blue Jays, is on the mound today.
And we got Edison, who's, listen, they're 7th in the GMC Red Division, but guess what? They're 12-9 overall. 5-8, and listen, they got as good a shot as anybody. Probably all 16 teams probably had to have a shot to win this thing, at least when there were 16 teams in it, and I think all 4 of these have a shot. We're going to hear from our 2 head coaches coming up from Middlesex, Coach Ionetti, from Edison, Vinny Abene on Central Jersey Sports Radio. This is the GMC Tournament Semifinals.
Hi, I'm Warren Bennett, president of the NJSFU State Federation of Umpires, the Mickey Sedlak chapter. Our goal is to develop and improve our members' knowledge, skills, professionalism, and confidence. We cover high school baseball and softball in the GMC and other surrounding counties. We also cover various rec, local youth leagues, USA softball, travel leagues, and men's leagues, including assigning and working the Last Dance tournament. We have college, high school, little league umpires on staff, and we are also proud to give back by umpiring events like the Autism Awareness Challenge, Little League Buddy Ball, and the Wounded Warrior Charity Foundation. To find out more or to become an umpire, visit njsfu.org. That's njsfu.org.
Mike Pavlichko, Alec Crouthamel back with you at Ray Sipperley Field in East Brunswick for the Jim Muldowney GMC Tournament Semifinals. Game 1 between 10-seed Middlesex and 11-seed Edison. Time to hear from our 2 head coaches. First up, the Blue Jays and first-year head coach Coach Ionetti. They got here with a Thursday quarterfinal win, 5-4 over the number 2 seed South Plainfield for their 9th straight victory.
They got some pretty good arms. They're playing good now when it matters, and familiar opponent. We saw them 3 times last year, and they beat us all 3. So we're looking for a little bit of a revenge game, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got on them.
Absolutely. In yesterday's game, that wild 5-4 win over South Plainfield, we talked about it yesterday, but what did it mean to kind of get your team in that a little bit of a pressure situation, winning run already on base, and then being able to come through like that in that situation?
Yeah, well, it means a lot. I think we're pretty battle-tested this year. Went up against a lot of tough opponents, even with the non-conferences. Went up to Del Bar and beat them. Robbinsville, Rutgers Prep, they're all quality opponents. And, I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing and keep focusing on the main goal.
You guys now on a 9-game win streak. I mean, the last loss coming in that sweep to Spotswood, a series that you lost by a combined 3 runs, 2 in the first game, 1 in the second. What do you think your team has done the best so far in this streak, and what are you looking to keep doing?
I think we're pulling together as a team, and everyone's going in the right direction. We're doing a lot of the small things right, and we're just battling out there at the plate and on the mound, and we're playing great defense.
And you mentioned on the mound as well, Dom Long with a complete game yesterday. I mean, how big was that for him to keep his confidence up, even when things got a little tough on the mound, and he was able to pull through?
Yeah, I mean, that's been Dom all year. He's faced some really quality opponents, went up to Del Bar and beat them, pitched in the white against, pretty much everyone's 1 or 2. And I'll tell you what, the white is loaded, and this conference is loaded. And, as you can see, the 10-11 seed, 8-5 on the other side, it's just, pretty crazy.
And looking at some guys at the plate as well, 2 RBIs for Dylan Reynolds and a few scattered all around as well. I mean, feels like you mentioned, this lineup top to bottom is really starting to come together and hit well. What have you seen from them, and what are you looking to keep going with that lineup in the offense tomorrow? Yeah,
I mean, I think we're hitting pitches we want to hit, and we're doing a good job battling when we have 2 strikes. Like you said, we have pretty good 1 through 9, and when the bottom's helping out, that take some pressure off the top, and when the top's helping out, take pressure off the bottom. So I think we just got to keep battling up there.
Yeah, and you mentioned the bottom half of the lineup. I mean, that 4-run second inning was really kicked off by the bottom of the order coming through in the early innings to kind of ambush the opposing pitcher. I mean, how big is it to be able to rely on all 9 guys in that lineup that they can, that they can come through in situations like that?
Yeah, it's huge. I have a lot of confidence in every guy, whether it's, the 9 that are starting or a couple that are coming off the bench. I got some guys on the bench that could swing it as well. So, it's a lot of confidence boost for them and for me, and it takes a little pressure off myself as well.
And a little bit of a quick turnaround with only one day off between the quarterfinals and semifinals. I mean, what are you looking for in this game? What are some big things that you're looking out for from either your team or Edison coming to this?
Yeah, I'm just looking for us to, pound the zone on the mound, make some plays on defense, and, have great, good at-bats, and just keep doing what we're doing. We got to just keep rolling.
Meanwhile, Edison is here as the 11 seed. And with the 5, the 8, the 10, and the 11 all with a chance to go to the finals, head coach Vinny Aben says it's exactly what he thought it would be, a wide-open tournament.
I thought 1 through 16 had an opportunity to win the tournament. Each team it was pretty scary. But, yeah, definitely. I mean, the games were close yesterday, and no doubt that all 8 teams had an opportunity. And, we're just happy to be surviving and advancing.
And when you look at, yesterday, obviously you guys jumped out on Aquinas very early there in a 9-1 win. Your thoughts on the win yesterday?
Yeah, you know what? Some of those hits that we got yesterday with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, they fell yesterday. Throughout the season, we had some opportunities, and we didn't get those big hits, and it was nice to get them early and often yesterday. That's for sure.
Well, you know what they say. That's baseball, Vinny. Something like that, right? A little paraphrase.
Yeah.
And the pitching, you've gotten some really good pitching too. And I know we've talked about this before, because you had a guy like Jackson Appleman, but you really, as a team, have just gotten some fantastic pitching this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, that's kind of their job. They take it personal. They all want to be Bulldogs. They all want the ball. So, it's always that next man up attitude. And when the guys buy into it and they really believe, they have a chance to take the ball and give us an opportunity to win, and, that we're going to be better for it.
Well, another team that has some very good pitching is Middlesex. They're having a great year. They're 15-4, playing in the GMC White Division. And listen, they lost twice to Spotswood, but then they go and beat Del Barton, and it's really a sign of how much parity there is in this league right now. But tell me what you know of Middlesex, what you might have seen or heard about them.
I know plenty about Middlesex. Mike. They're not sneaking up on anybody. I could tell you that. I know they've won 8 or 9 in a row. They beat a solid Colonia team with a great pitcher on the mound in round 1. They beat a very, very good South Plainfield team in game 2, and they're just a blue collar town, a blue collar type of team, and they are gonna. I know it's gonna be a battle. That's for sure. I mean, those kids, their coaching staff, that whole community, like I said, is a blue collar type place, man, and they love their baseball and they love their athletics, and so do we though. But we know what we're in for. Like I said, they're not going to sneak up on us. We'll be ready.
They're aggressive on the base paths too. They're one of these small balls, and they'll take kind of every inch they can get. How do you feel like your team is prepared defensively for an opponent like that?
Yeah, we kind of, we game plan, the day before. We'll be ready. I mean, we'll work on a couple of things to make sure that we're trying to limit some of the opportunities that they get on the bases and stuff like that. So, just normal stuff that we've been going over all year. It's just a matter of, when it happens in a big spot, can you execute? And then, they could do what they want, we'll do what we want, but, it's the team that's going to execute that's going to come out on top.
All right, well, there you have it. That is the Edison head coach, Vinny Aben. Before that, Coach Ionetti. We're about set to start. We'll get you the starting lineups for the Edison Eagles, who will bat first. They're the lower seed, the 11 seed, Middlesex the 10. Center fielder Darren Tirado leads off. Shortstop Anthony Calantoni batting second. First baseman Robert Roma hitting third. In the cleanup spot, the pitcher, Connor Murphy. He will hit for himself. No DH for Edison today. Second baseman Ray Tavares bats fifth, followed by the third baseman Dom Innocenti. 7, 8, and 9, left fielder Sam Cantos, catcher Brody Ferrer, and the right fielder Teddy Eiler. Middlesex defense, first to third, Owen Reynolds, Marcus Livornia, Dom Parenti, and Sean Hughes. Daniel Ionero behind the plate. The outfield left to right, James Matula, Dominic Long, and Dylan Ionero. And Chris Kozak, the Middlesex starter, 3-3, a record of an ERA of 0.89, and we are just about set to go. Looks like first pitch will be right on the nose at 12 o'clock here on Central Jersey Sports Radio. Glad to be with us. Mike Pavlichko, Alec Crouthamel along with you. Darren Tirado to lead it off for the Edison Eagles, hitting .356. Eagles committing .275 as a team. Middlesex .325. The Blue Jays have won 9 straight. They are by far the hottest team in the GMC right now, and we are about set to go for first pitch at 4 o'clock here. At noon, I should say. 4 o'clock. Oh, my. And the first pitch ends up high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Darren Tirado. Carl Coaster is our home plate umpire. Joe Fisher at first, Jerry Cicchetti at second, and Cilia Garcia at third. And the 1-0 pitch misses low and away, a breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes. A gorgeous day here after a week of rain. Fouled off on the 2-0 pitch up to the backstop. 74 degrees here at game time. And right now, not a cloud in the sky, at least in front of us. A few behind us. We had a little bit of drizzle here earlier this morning at about 10 o'clock, just a little. 2-1 pitch from Kozak is up high to Tirado, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike on the leadoff hitter. Kozak, 42 strikeouts, just 4 walks all year long. Righty pitcher deals right back to him on a line drive. And that's the first out. Look what I found. Not bad.
Yeah, man, talk about the heads-up play from Kozak. It can be really hard to react to those hot shots right back at you, but he took a stab at it with the glove, and yeah, it landed right in it. That's a pretty good start. A little bit of hard contact to start, but the out is made.
Brings up the shortstop, Anthony Calantoni, hitting .292, 7 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Kozak, and it's up high. 1 ball and no strikes. The Eagles come in 12-9, 5-8, 7th in the GMC Red. Blue Jays 15-4, 8-4, 4th place in the GMC White. Well, they've got some big wins to get here as Kozak misses upstairs again. 2 balls and no strike. 9 straight wins for Middlesex, plus, besides the 2 games in the county tournament, they beat Del Barton heading in. Swing and a miss, and a fastball from Kozak, 2-1. And there's a lot of teams that when they feel like, they're all set for the state tournament with games and all that, they'll kind of tune up for the counties with a weaker opponent. 2-1 is in there, a called strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Not so for Middlesex. They'll play the big boys.
Yeah, really trying to ramp up, and, they're playing very well, so it worked out for them.
Pitch to Calantoni, swung on, punched right back up the middle, over the shortstop Parenti from the second base bag, throws and gets the out. 6-3 on the ground out. Second out of the inning, and it'll bring up Robert Roma, who is hitless in 2 official at-bats in the GMCs, but hitting .362. Second on the team, and 1 of 3 with 17 runs batted in for the Edison Eagles. They've scored 100 runs on the year. Middlesex 123.
He's really one of those guys that you want in the 3 spot. He hits for power. He has 7 doubles to lead the team, and also leads the team in walks. So even if you get the first 2 outs, like Middlesex did here, he can still get on base.
First lefty in the lineup, and he takes a fastball outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Just underway here in the GMC Championship Tournament. Semifinals, game number 1. And the pitch swung on and foul to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike.
We're seeing Kozak trying to locate with that fastball. He got behind a little bit in the first 2 at-bats, but it looks like he's starting to find his spot with the fastball, getting a few swings and almost misses with the foul tips.
A little bit windy here today as well at East Brunswick Magnet. But we'll take it as long as it's dry and it's nice and sunny. The pitch in there, a called strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Robert Roma.
Yeah, that time he went to the curveball just at the bottom of the zone, and a nice frame by Daniel Ionera, the catcher, and got the call. It's a really nice executed breaking ball.
Kozak looking in. Underway, top of the first, 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch, and it misses low, a sinker, 2 balls, 2 strikes. On the first baseman, Robert Roma, who's also an excellent pitcher, and his younger brother, Braden, got the start against Aquinas in the quarters, 2-2, misses low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's a youngin', and he got a big start on Thursday. It was a 9-1 win over their crosstown rival. Yes, they got 2 really, because they got J.P. Stevens as well. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and sliced foul out of play, third base side, and they will do it again. Well, second game is going to be Spotswood, the 8 seed, and 5 seed St. Joe's. Carter Comiskey with an ERA under a half a point And St. Joe's, which has shut out 2 opponents in 8 and 9 inning wins. 17 innings in the GMCs, not a single run allowed. 3-2 now to Roma, and it's a breaking ball outside. Ball 4, first base runner, as Edison gets a 2-out walk from Robert Roma, and the pitcher Connor Murphy will try and help his cause.
And like I said before the at-bat, a really nice job of controlling the strike zone. He got behind with 2 strikes, and then Kozak tried to go to the same spot a couple different times, but Roma staying strong, knew the zone, controlled the zone, and now he's on base with 2 outs, and potentially could see a rally here if they can string something together.
And a toss over to first, and back in time, just in time, is Roma head first slide. The other thing to think about, too, is when you are now playing at a neutral site and you know you've got a championship game berth on the line, you wonder sometimes if teams are going to be as aggressive as they've been all year, or maybe a little feeling out early. Here's the pitch, and it's on the outside corner for a called strike to Murphy, 0-1. But sometimes you want to stick with what got you there. And if I'm Middlesex or Spotswood, which you might consider underdogs just being smaller schools, stick with it. Swung on and hit high into center field. Coming on Dominic Long. He reaches out with the left hand and makes the catch on the run in right center field for the final out of the inning. So Edison gets a 2-out walk, but nothing across. No hits, no errors, 1 left on base. Through a half inning of play, it's Edison 0 and Middlesex coming up to bat. You're listening to the GMC Tournament Semifinals on Central Jersey Sports Radio. Prepare to take over. Takeover Baseball is hosting 2 weeks of camp at Middlesex High School's varsity baseball field. Develop your game during week 1 of the skills camp. That's the week of July 7th. Then follow up with week 2 in their pitchers and catchers camp beginning July 14th. Camps are run by the Middlesex High School coaching staff. To find out more, visit their website, takeoverbaseball.com. Get signed up and prepare to take over. Takeover Baseball, where serious players train. And welcome back. Mike Pavlichko and Alec Crouthamel along with you. No scores. We head to the bottom half of the first inning. Let's get you the Middlesex lineup. Leading off, the shortstop, Dom Parenti. Then the right fielder, Dylan Ionero. First baseman, Owen Reynolds in the 3rd spot. And the center fielder, Dominic Long, in the cleanup position. Then DH Luke Jones. For the catcher, Daniel Ionero bats 5th. In the 6th spot, second baseman, Marcus Livornia. 7, 8, 9, third baseman, Sean Hughes. Pitcher, Chris Kozak. Left fielder, James Matsula. Edison defense from 1st to 3rd, Robert Roma, Ray Tavares, Anthony Calantoni, Dominic Senti. The outfield left to right, Sam Kentos, Darren Tirado, and Teddy Eiler. Behind the plate, Brody Ferrer, and on the mound, Connor Murphy. 4-2 on the year, a 1.19 ERA, and he does have a no-hitter to his credit this year. A 5-inning no-hitter and an 11-0 win over South Brunswick back on April 22nd. Edison Eagles in their road gray pants, red jerseys with the gold, kind of colonial-ish looking numbers, and across the front of the jersey. Edison or Eagles? Trying to get a look at it from the picture. I believe it says Edison right across the front. Blue Jays across the front of the blue with white pinstripe Middlesex jerseys, button-down jerseys too. Love that look, and the white pants. And we're almost set to go here in the bottom half of the first inning. Also, if you are listening, and we appreciate you listening, if you want to check out, we are also, I said in a tweet earlier, kind of want to call this the beta test run. We are live video streaming on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube channel, check out Central Jersey Sports Radio, search us there, find it, and give a watch. You will hear the same exact thing that you're hearing on the radio. So, if you can't, watch, you can turn to, put the phone down and listen to it. And then when you can watch, pick it up. Dom Parenti to lead it off for the Blue Jays. And the righty stands in, swing and a miss at a breaking ball first pitch. No balls and 1 strike. Parenti on the season is hitting .333. A good chunk of the lineup hitting over .300 for Middlesex. He swings at the second pitch and chops it foul, third base side. No balls and 2 strikes. They have 8 regulars with a couple of subs in there with 13 at bats, 11, which I think is enough. 8 guys hitting .300 or better, and 2 hitting over .400. Dominic Long and Dalton Michael. And a pitch, check swing, and he did not go. Safe, says the first base umpire, Joe Fisher, 1-2. Middlesex looking for just their second ever trip to the finals. They made it in 2012 and won it. Chopper over to the right side. Fielded by Tavares, the second baseman. Throws to Roma at first in time for the out. One away. Edison, meanwhile, 9 trips to the finals, but their last one, 2001, they were the 2 seed and beat 13 seed Spotswood 4-1. They won championships in 1990, 92, 93, 94, 95, 98, and 99, and 01. Best win percentage of any team with more than one win in the finals. Dylan Iannero steps in, and he swings the first pitch, fouls it to the backstop. No balls and 1 strike. He's hitting .370 and tied with Dominic Long for the team lead in singles with 20. Pitch to him, swung on and fouled back to the backstop. 0-2. And so far, Murphy getting ahead of the hitters.
He really is. He's using that high fastball, changing the eye level of the hitters, and also going low with the breaking ball. He's done a nice job keeping the hitters off balance, and they're really taking a try at that fastball as well.
The 0-2 misses outside, a breaking ball, low and away.
And Ionetti also had arguably the play of the game against South Plainfield in the field, in right field. There was runners on first and second with 1 out. They were up 5-4, and a flare shot out to right. He made the catch and doubled him up to end the game.
1-2 pitch up high. Did not go with that one. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And talking to Blaze Ionetti after the game, off the bat, he might have thought it was going to get down for a hit. I thought it was going to get down for a hit, but once I saw he made the catch, he's found the man off first base and doubled him up, and yeah, that won it.
2-2 pitch on the way. It's swung on and punched out to right field. Coming on is Teddy Eiler, and he makes the catch on the run. 2 down. And nobody on for Owen Reynolds, the first baseman. Did you, I don't know if you responded to this one. Did you check your Instagram?
I did.
Yeah.
That was a nice feature.
Well, you put a little feature up there. I try to be a little more active on the Insta. And when you say the before Insta, you're dating, making yourself sound old. But
the Facebook?
It was a little more ironic.
Yeah, it was.
You got drenched the other day over at South Plainfield, and
yeah.
We were all dry over at Spotswood. Owen Reynolds in, punches one down the third base line, but it just goes foul a couple inches before the bag. Strike 1 on Owen Reynolds, who is hitting .338 with 14 ribbies.
And the funniest part of that was like 5 minutes before, while you were doing the Spotswood game, you told Dom Savino, who was on the call with you, I wonder where those dark clouds are, and they were all right on
That was
top
why
of
I
me.
put it together, because of the ironic. And then in that half inning, during the break, you called me.
And it's like, hey, I'm getting drenched over here.
0-1 on Reynolds. And he takes a fastball in 1-1. And I'm guessing that she's probably here today, but his mom, Patricia, works at Rutgers. And I have had contact with her before for stuff. So hello to her. 1-1 is up high. 2 balls, 1 strike. If she goes back and listens later. Maybe she got it on the cell phone now. Wave over if you can hear. 2-1 the count on Owen Reynolds, the first baseman. Help me get my company credit card. 2 balls, 1 strike pitch. Just misses inside, a breaking ball. 3-1 now on Owen Reynolds.
I'll tell you what, that card has come in handy for a lot of times for me in particular as well on a lot of these trips for WRSU.
Oh, you betcha. 3-1 on the way. Swung on and popped up to the backstop, as you could hear. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I tell you, the photo you sent, actually, I don't think it did it justice. You almost couldn't tell that your hair was wet. You could tell a little bit.
My hair, not only my hair was wet, you couldn't really tell as much that my shirt was completely soaked through. I had to change out of it.
Oh, here's the 3-2. It swung on and popped up again to the backstop. They'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Reynolds. 2 down, nobody on for Middlesex. Bottom half of the first, no score.
Murphy is really going to the well with that high fastball, and it's working too. He's gotten a lot of these hitters to not exactly chase at it because it's not that high up, but it's high enough that you can't really get the barrel around it and get good contact.
Dominic Long, center fielder, stands on deck. They did a great job to get this field ready. The grounds crew here at EB Magnet. 3-2 on Reynolds, 2 down. Swung on and fouled right back to the screen. They're getting closer and louder.
Yeah, eventually one of those times it's just going to get stuck in the fence right at my eye level at this rate.
This will be the shortest video stream we've ever done. About 5 seconds here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball outside, ball 4. And so each team with a 2-out walk here in the first inning. Rob Roma for Edison and Owen Reynolds for Middlesex. Ironically, both first basemen. As the wind picks up here a bit, it's a big, wide open area. There's softball fields behind us. Summerhill Road going left to right in front of us from south to north. And here's Dominic Long swinging. First pitch fouled up and over the backstop. My car's got to be about 500 feet away. I think we're pretty good back.
Yeah, I think you put it as far away as physically possible so that nothing even goes near it.
Got my shoes all wet walking through some of the high grass over there, too. No balls, 1 strike on Dominic Long. 2 down. Pitch on the outside corner, a called strike, and it's 0-2. So far, Murphy not paying too much attention to Roma over on first base. Just want to get through this inning. It's tempting, but just try to get through it. It'll be an 0-2 coming to Long. From the stretch, Murphy, the pitch. Check swing, it's outside, no appeal, and so it's 1-2.
Yeah, he kind of held his bat in that same spot that it was at to really show that he did not go around, which he didn't.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Dominic Long. Murphy looks in from the stretch, swung on and punched up the middle, over to short, flipped to the second baseman by Calansoni, and Ray Tavares steps on the bag for the final out of the inning. So that'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice to end it. No runs, 1 walk, no hits, and 1 left on base. We played an inning, no score. Edison Middlesex, GMC Tournament Semifinals on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Warren Bennett, president of the NJSFU State Federation of Umpires, the Mickey Sedlak chapter. Our goal is to develop and improve our members' knowledge, skills, professionalism, and confidence. We cover high school baseball and softball in the GMC and other surrounding counties. We also cover various rec, local youth leagues, USA softball, travel leagues, and men's leagues, including assigning and working the Last Dance tournament. We have college, high school, little league umpires on staff, and we are also proud to give back by umpiring events like the Autism Awareness Challenge, Little League Buddy Ball, and the Wounded Warrior Charity Foundation. To find out more or to become an umpire, visit njsfu.org. That's njsfu.org.
Mike Pavlichko, Alec Crouthamel back with you at East Brunswick Magnet School in East Brunswick. And it's the Jim Muldowney GMC Championship Tournament Semifinals. It's a lot to say, but it's a very, very nice recognition of a great man and an Edison alum who passed away way too young back last spring. So the tournament now named after him, the Invitational, now the Ray Sipperly Invitational, to honor the man who built this field, was coach, athletic director here, and I got to get a 50-50 later.
It's not a bad idea.
I do that at games. I did win one once.
Wow. I didn't know that was possible.
Win the 50-50?
Yeah, it's always random people that I've never seen before win the 50-50. It's never anyone that I know.
At the now defunct Cardinal McCarrick High School, a state tournament game against Trenton Catholic, and I won about $300.
Wow.
Not a bad deal. 5-6-7 for Edison here in the top half of the second inning. And leading it off, Ray Tavares takes a breaking ball inside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Tavares hitting .246, 4 runs batted in on the year. Beats Tavares, Dominicenti, Sam Kentos. Pitch, breaking ball inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Winner goes on to the finals next Saturday, 2 o'clock here at East Brunswick Magnets, Ray Sipperly Field. Spotswood St. Joe's in Game 2 coming up at 2:30. Fastball strike, 2-1, taken by Tavares. Head coach at Edison, Vinny Abene. Been there a long time. 2-1 pitch, swung on and poked foul down the left field line out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They got a couple of concessions over there. And I usually have like funnel cakes and stuff, but we'll have to.
I feel like if there are any funnel cakes right now, the wind would probably be blowing that powdered sugar away.
You see smoke? Nope, it's just powdered sugar. Ground ball, first base. Reynolds will field, take it to the bag himself. That's a 3 unassisted. 1 down here in the top of the second. Dominicenti will come to the plate. Well, if you look back a few years ago, and it might have even been 2021, it was one of the lowest scoring GMC tournaments in history when you look at just the semifinals and the finals. I think we had fewer than 10 runs scored in the 3 games. Last year, a bit of an anomaly because of the final, but we could be back to that here today. Dominicenti, though, stands in, the team's best hitter, and he lines one into center field for the first hit of the ball game. A first pitch single for Dominicenti, who was .386 batting average coming in and 2 for 3 in the tournament with 4 runs and batted in and a home run and a double. And now he's got a single to start things off for Edison here in the second. Sam Kentos now to the plate.
That was a nice job of just going ambush there. First pitch swinging, got some nice contact on it, and just punched it right into center field where it needed to be.
Kentos 2 for 3 in the GMC, but on the season just 143. Toss over to first, and Innocenti is back in time. He only has 1 stolen base on the year. Anthony Calantoni leads the team with 9 of their 24 stolen bases, and toss over to first back in. And if you know the Calantoni family, I'm sure Brian is here somewhere. I've probably also called Anthony Bryan a couple of times, but that should not surprise you that he's the team leader in swipes. Here's the pitch. First pitch to Kentos, and it's a fastball strike on the outside corner. Kozak's got some zip here early for the Blue Jays. Getting some fastballs in there, changing speeds nicely. 0-1 from the stretch. Innocenti on first, the game's first hit. He takes a break. Now a throw down to first in the dirt, scooped by Reynolds right up into the air. Nice job.